Hello, 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 hello. Wow, I always find it crazy that people have liked the video and I've only just started. Thank you so much for that. So, how is everybody? Give me a little hand wavy emoji and say hi. I call them emojis. I don't know why. Alright, so. Hey, D-Will, what's up? Okay, I'm just going to wait for, so please, hi Maria, lovely to have you. Please feel free to shout out, tell me where you are, what's going on with you guys, what you're dealing with, doing, experiencing at this moment in time. We here in the UK have just found out that they're not going to extend our lockdown, but they are going to impose more bloody tier systems and all of that crap, as if we needed any more. But hey ho, I will not complain because at least we'll be allowed out. So woo, yeah, they'll be letting us out. No more of me banging my sippy cup against the what they call it, the playpen walls. Hi Francoise, lovely to have you. Hi. Alright, so let's get straight into it. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you that are here right now being live with me, it really does mean a lot. For those of you that are tuning in later on, I truly hope that you get something out of this. Remember, my Kickstarter is on at the moment, so if you want to study tarot with me in the new year, I've got a whole 12-week course. What's up, Priceless? Erin, hope you're alright. You can also bag yourself a reading at a really great price, and you can also, as if that wasn't enough, there's a whole bunch of digital products there as well. So a full moon calendar, a new moon calendar, and 2 6-month tarot calendars where you can get a daily card pull from yours truly. I've written them all up. It took me forever, but it has been a labour of love. So please support Reydiant Reality in finding its permanent home. That means for me and for Reydiant Reality, and it would be wonderful for you guys to be a part of that. And I have to say again, a massive thank you, because you guys have already helped me hit 50% of the target, which is mind-blowing to me, because there's still like a month to go. So with that said, let's get straight into it. Yes, we are here to talk about the moon in Taurus, right? So and just before we start, as I've said to everybody, and I will mention it again as we get into the tarot part of things, when I get to the tarot card readings, these are specifically for your ascendant sign. The reason that these readings are based on your ascendant sign, that's important because we're looking at the moon transit, right? So that part is really important. Alright, so let's get into it. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So let's get into it. The moon is in Taurus. Well, actually, as I'm recording this, the moon is currently in the sign of Aries and is nearing its transit through the sign of Aries. I would love to do all of these when the moon hits 0 degrees of the sign, but that would be 4 a.m. for me, and I'm an early riser, but I'm definitely not that early a riser. Not yet, anyway. I do feel like that might be shifting soon. So can you let me know if you can see the chart wheel? Oh nice, Taurus with a Venus in Taurus. So you've got a very happy Venus, Venus that is able to give and to do her best, which is great. Hi Paris, lovely to have you. Pop that up so that I can see myself. Okay, can someone let me know, can you see the chart wheel on the screen? I'm pretty sure that you can. Yeah, okay, great. Alright, so let's get into it. The moon is coming through the sign of Taurus. So we're talking about the moon because the moon in ancient astrology represented so when I'm doing specifically when I'm doing the tarot readings, you need to listen to your ascendant sign. That part is really important. Obviously check out your moon sign and check out your sun sign because that may speak to you. But when I'm doing the tarot readings, I'm looking specifically at the ascendant, and the reason being is because the moon moves so quickly that's going to be the most accurate sort of depiction that you get. All right, so can you see me? Alright, so the moon as mind, body, and the changeable nature of life. This is why we're looking at the moon, because the sun represented the soul, right? And it represented that, that overall goal that we're pushing or striving towards, or the ultimate eventual place that that we're looking to end up. Whereas the moon would represent the changeable nature of life, and it would represent our mind, it would represent our body, and the changes and the fluctuations and the waxing and waning energy that it would go through. Now, as many of you might know, and as many of you may not know, the moon is exalted in Taurus. The moon is in its exaltation, and what that means is it's able to express itself and give all of its highest benefits when it comes into the sign of Taurus. And one of the reasons for that is because the moon is given, so you think about the moon, which is watery and changeable, and then you think about the sign of Taurus, which is slow and steady. It gives the moon an ability to express itself, but it gives the moon a grounded energy, and it allows it to use its energy to shape things. It also expresses its connection to the material and to the changeable world, and to the changeable almost like nature of life best in this sign, right? So this is great. Oh, okay, yeah, absolutely. I totally forgot. If you are celebrating Thanksgiving today, if you are with your loved ones or you're not able to be with your loved ones, I truly hope that you have an amazing time of it, and I truly hope that your Thanksgiving is a wonderful time where you do feel thankful and you have many reasons to be so. So with that said, let's get into it. This is a moon for grounded comfort, and this moon it's comfort driven, this moon, right? And remember the condition of the moon, she's still in that waxing phase. We're heading towards that sort of lunar eclipse that will take place on the 30th, so Luna is still growing, she's still gathering energy to her before she can fully express herself, which will happen in the sign of Gemini. So for now, right, this is a time to enjoy good things, it's a time to enjoy nice things. This is and one of the things that, and hear me when I say this as well, because some people kind of, before they've even kind of got what I've said, they get a little bit offended. The moon coming through Taurus is simplistic but indulgent. Simplistic because Taurus likes easy things. It likes things to be slow and steady. This is one of the reasons that Taurus isn't necessarily so good with change, because it likes what is steady. It likes what is easy. It's not really one for, all of this kind of energy, which is why for those of you that have Taurus energy or Taurus, heavy Taurus energy or heavy Taurus placements, you'll have felt this because you've got Uranus, which is moving through the sign of Taurus at the moment. So you've got the energy of rebellion and change and upheaval and movement and fast sort of dynamics going through a sign that wants slow, steady, methodical, practical, time-honored tradition almost. They're really, really differing energies. So it's that's why if you've got Taurus stuff going on, and we've all got Taurus in our charts somewhere, but if you have a heavy emphasis on Taurus, you will have felt this, and you've got about another 4.5 years to go. The moon is, simplistic but indulgent, and it seeks the best and the most simple expressions of what we enjoy. So this could be comfort food, this could be, a good book with a blanket, and, just that sense of really being well looked after, but also well met in whatever your needs and your desires might be. This moon enjoys ease and calm and steady things, and it enjoys nature and things that are familiar. You know, there's a lot of energy that you can gather from the natural world. So if you can, if it's not too late or it's not too cold, take a walk today, take in some air, take in, you know, a natural scene. You know, if you can't get out and it is too cold, or you know, you're in lockdown, watch things that have to do with nature and the great outdoors. It might soothe you in some way. It's not a moon for fast changes or fast-paced anything. This next couple of days, as the moon moves through Taurus, you can be a bit slower, you can take your time with it, you know, and this is a moon to attend to everything on your domestic level. So this is your routines, it's your necessities. If you've got lists, you know, this would be a good time to write a to-do list, so you can say, right, okay, that's something I've got to do. You know, take your time to do it. So when we talk about the environment here, when we talk about the environment, remember the moon represented the environment as well, because it's that space that you're in, and it's also, again, it's changeable. So time for practicality and simplicity and comfort. Anything that does what it says on the tin, i.e. giving, did 100 rope jumps outside. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, that's perfect. Mona's definitely already feeling that Taurus energy coming in. So pets, you might notice over the next few days, if you've got pets, they might want or need a bit more love and attention, and give it to them, because it, you know, that's the beauty of having pets. There's such a beautiful interconnected energy that happens there. And I was reading an article actually the other day that said, you know, people that live alone but have a pet, like a lot of them have said, like, if I didn't have my pet, I don't know if I'd have been able to survive this time or this amount of time on my own. And I think that, you know, that kind of shows that sometimes I really do believe that we don't deserve animals, because they really are beautiful. I don't have any because I live in an apartment, so there's no space for it. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting off topic. Bring something natural and alive into the home. Buy some flowers, go out and collect some sort of old leaves, you know, bring the outside into the home. This could really help alleviate some of that sort of frenetic energy, let's say. So baggy clothes, comfortable duvets, blankets, you know, having a little snooze on the sofa while you're all warm. You know, I'm not a Taurus, but I have a Taurus midheaven, so I can definitely relate to that at times. So with all of the sweets, we have to talk about some of the sours, and so some of the shadow side of the way that this can show up. And not for everybody, and this isn't a representation of all that Taurus is. It's just some of the ways that this can show up for us. You know, this could be a time where it's very much sort of me and mine. You know, it could be like a very time where we could see people become a bit more possessive, or maybe we feel that ourselves. One of the things with Taurus, it can withdraw emotionally as well. And, you know, if you find someone or something kind of pulling at you, that's going to be the reason. That's, you know, is because you know, maybe they feel that you're pulling away emotionally. So try to remain open in this time. You know, seek inner security, and your outer world will be enhanced. That's one thing that you need to be aware of, because, you know, people talk about Taurus being materialistic and all of the rest of it, and it's not. That's how they find security. You know, having everything on a physical Cavman, lovely to have you. Having everything settled and you know, an abundance of everything around them makes Taurus feel settled. So it's not about greed, really. It's actually about security, but that's how they provide security for themselves. So as the moon comes through the sign of Taurus, if you find yourself kind of, you know, grabbing at everything, just ask yourself, okay, where is it that I'm maybe not feeling as secure as I'd like to at the moment, and how am I trying to fill that void? Yeah, and talk about possessiveness. So what else have I got here? So as the moon comes through Taurus over the next couple of days, ways that you can use this time, and here's a really good one. Indulge in extreme self-care via the body. So whether that is having a good soak in the tub, feeding yourself well, keeping yourself wrapped in something that you feel is really comfortable or luxurious. That would be a great way to use this time. Get your ducks in a row. Have a look at your finances. Clean up your bank statements. You know, all of that sort of stuff. Sounds boring, not very sexy, but it's definitely worth doing while the moon comes through Taurus, right? Write a to-do list. This could be a really good time to write a to-do list. You could get a lot done, or certainly you could get a lot figured out. Connect to your body and connect to your loved ones if you have them, if you're around them. Can you hear me better now? Maybe that's... Oh, your microphone wire must be out a little. No, they're all connected and I don't have a microphone in. I'm literally just using the one from... That's a good one. When you picked up the notebook, it got better. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's probably why. So yeah, you know, one of the other ways that you can use this as well, if you're with people, if you live with people, and they're your family, yeah, that's probably about as good as the sound is going to be, unfortunately. So, is that any better? I've just turned it up, so maybe that will, maybe that will help. Hey, there we go. Hey. All right. So yeah, another way is to express your inner feelings, because that's going to validate your external world, right? It will tap you into that, but more so. So you can all see the chart wheel. Excellent. All right. So let's get into it. On the 27th, the moon is going to oppose Venus, and it's going to come. Obviously, it's moving through this, and it moves quite. It moves quite slowly, quite quickly. So it's going to pass through these, you know, over the next sort of 2-3 days, let's say. So the moon's going to oppose Venus. One of the things that I think we might see around this is questions about money or negotiations on money or finances. So, I don't know. I've got mixed reviews at the moment. Some people are saying the sound is fine. Some people are saying the sound has a problem. Alright, doing it again. What about now? It's really funny because if you watch so I study with a tutor barber, and he's really good. If you haven't seen him, check him out, please, because he's just an amazing astrologer, and he talked about something going on with this. So okay, good. All right, we're back in with the sound. So yeah, the moon is going to come through an opposition with Venus, so this could bring up questions about money or finances. It could also come up with what my wants are, because Venus is in Scorpio, right? So we're going to have this sort of Scorpio Taurus back and forth between them, and I kind of feel like the way that this might play out is my wants will be what you need. Do you know what I mean? It's like you know, there could be that kind of very possessive kind of do you know what I mean, like energy kind of going on there. So just keep an eye out for that. And then obviously the moon is going to come through a square with the big three, so Saturn, Pluto and Jupiter, which are hanging out in Capricorn. And I'm sure all of you, much like myself, are literally just waiting for that to come out. Not yet, Tiffany, but it's coming up. Not yet, but it is coming, which I'm actually looking forward to. You know, remember, I'm an Aquarius, so although I'm still ruled by Saturn, I'm going to be okay with that transit. I'm definitely more sort of towards that quirky, obviously, side of Aquarius than any other, right? So I should be fine. Maybe my tech won't, but we'll see. So yeah, those big three are coming through. So this could be a time where the externals, i.e. what's going on out there, could really play on the feelings, because remember, it's a square energy. One thing that I always say about squares as well is that the way that it kind of works is, like, people say that a sextile is an opportunity, but it's an opportunity that you have to look for. I see a square as an opportunity as well. And the reason I see it as an opportunity is because 9 times out of 10, it makes you uncomfortable enough to say, right, I've had enough. I'm going to do something about it. So this could be a time as well where we see buried info come to light. Now, I would say a long time ago, a good 3 months ago, I remember putting out on a I remember putting out on a video. I said to everybody, follow the money trail. There's something going on with the world of money or finances, and I was having dreams about it, and just these weird feelings. And I'm not really one to watch that kind of stuff because it's not something that I'm massively into. So for me at the time, it was just really weird, and I feel like a lot of what's playing out now in the world is what I was intuiting back then. So really, really interesting. Ill. That's a part of it, but there was something else which obviously when we get to that moment, I will let you know. And yeah, so this could also be a moment where maybe the higher ups are forced to reveal something. Maybe something spills out, and then the damage control that they have to do is kind of like, oh, well, we're going to have to talk about it before it runs away with itself. Okay, so as you can see, for the 28th, the moon is going to conjunct Uranus. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because I think everybody's feelings are going to be all up there. I think they're going to be... I think it's going to be quite exciting, but I also think it could be quite shocking. This could be some reveal of some information that comes up, especially about the financial system. That's definitely a possibility. I think we could see an upscale of some of the protesting and stuff. I think we could see more of that as people get more into that sort of rebellious energy, but I kind of feel like in a way it's not going to be so overt. I think we might see a lot of online protesting, if that makes sense, like lots of let's veto them and let's not do this, and do you know what I mean? Like, I think we could see some of that. That's interesting. And then we could see one thing that we could see as the moon comes into its conjunction with Uranus, we might hear and see more about the cryptocurrency. I don't know if you saw this, but just recently they massively spiked, like all of them, or certainly all of the big assets that people look into, and that was huge. So I think we might see more of that, which is interesting. And then we might also, as well, as the moon comes in to its conjunction with Taurus, you might find that you have a really powerful insight of some sort, but it comes through the way that you feel. I know that sounds really odd, but that's probably the best way that I can kind of explain it. So check in with how you feel on the 28th, and let your mind wander over some idea or project that you have, because you might come up with a really great idea, or a snap judgment of some sort. And then finally on the 29th, the moon is going to trine the big three, right? And so, I mean, you can see it there. This one is like 4 a.m. I think, here in London, which is one of the reasons I couldn't do it. But yeah, the moon is going to come into a trine with Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter, which is going to be, it will be really nice, but I also feel like that could be quite intense as well. But that's a really interesting one. So there could be a sense of defense or exaggerated feelings around this time. It might be a time where we're, everybody's a little bit more touchy, about what they're, about what they're holding with. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could be, it could, yeah, it's just, we'll see how it pulls out. This could be a time as well where opinions shift. So what people have said before, the way that they've presented themselves up until a certain point, you could see that do a complete 180. It'd be really interesting to see what happens after this as well. And then finally, info again, because we've got the moon, which will move through its opposition with Mercury over in Scorpio. That in itself, I think, is going to be another interesting transit, and I think this is where we'll probably see information about banking, money, or some sort of change that they're maybe looking to implement. But definitely over this time, I would keep an eye out on the digital money assets. So if you're into crypto or anything like that, I'm not saying to invest, I can't give you financial advice, but it would certainly be a time for you to keep an eye on what's going on there, because we might see some really interesting stuff. So with that said, let's get into... All right, that's my wall there. All right, and there is the cards. Let me move this over, and I think you guys should now be able to see the tarot wheel. Yeah, instead of just my bulbous head. We have a restaurant owner in Toronto who's definitely defying Toronto public health. Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense as well. You think about it, so the defying part, which is, obviously all to do with that Uranian energy that's coming in. But remember as well, Heidi, we talked about, because the moon is currently, as I'm filming this, the moon is currently in Aries still, and it's coming up to that 29th degree, which can sometimes present more challenges because it's a really intense degree. It's kind of like the final hurrah of the sign. So as we're heading towards that, it might be, it may be a part of that. That might be one way that it can show up. The other thing is as well, he's a restaurant owner, food, Taurus, makes total sense. All right, so as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So before we get into the cards, guys, remember, please, 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 these are for your ascendant sign. You can check your sun, you can check your moon sign as well. It's completely up to you, but I am reading these for specifically your ascendant sign. All right, so what we're looking at today, moon, the moon in the sign of Taurus, which is why we have the Empress. There is another card that I could have used. Brownie points for anybody that can guess what it was or what it is. Let's see. Ooh, exciting. So yeah, Maureen, this is for the transit of the moon moving through the sign of Taurus. So from around 4 a.m. here in the UK, it will go right through to around the 29th. Who else was feeling angry during moon in Aries? I had a moment actually during moon moving through Aries where I got really stuffy about something that was just really trivial, and I remember thinking to myself after, oh, moon in Aries, damn it. Like, and then I was annoyed about being annoyed. So yeah, really interesting how that played out for me. Boom, there's my guy. That's it. Go on, Cav, man. He got it. It is the Hierophant. So that is the other card that I could have used to represent the sign of Taurus. Yeah, fantastic. So the moon, right? We've got Luna in her waxing phase as she moves towards that powerful sort of lunar eclipse that's coming up in the sign of Gemini, but she falls there on top of the Empress. What does this tell us? This tells us that this could be a time where women's things come up for question, where, you know, women could be feeling more powerful, more empowered. This could be a time where women speaking their truth and opening up themselves, you know, in some way, making themselves vulnerable in order to grab at their strength, or in order to express their strength. That's one way that this could play out. The moon card on top of the Empress, this could be a time where maybe our ideas and our ideals about how we look, about the way that we show up in the world, could be coming up for some sort of a change. It may also highlight to us as well where maybe we're being a little bit vain. You know, remember, every card has its shadow side. Every card has its shadow side. So that's one of the ways that this could show up. It could also, really, these next couple of days, women could rebel against the ideas that society put forward of what is beautiful, what is acceptable as beautiful. So you guys know, you know, if you've been watching Radiant Reality long enough, you know I'll be there right beside them, rallying, like, yeah, don't fucking tell the women, let them tell us, because they'll figure it out. And that is not to say that there are not some truly amazing men in the world who are very enlightened. We have one in the room at this moment in time who I have so much love for. This guy, he's smart, deep and wise, and I think it's because he's truly in touch with who he actually is, and to be that unshakable at a soul level is a very powerful place to be. Anyway, I digress. For you, Aries, in the mind, you have the Two of Cups. So this is nice. This is going to make you a lot more agreeable over the next couple of days. Yes, a very empowering moon, right? So this is going to make us, Aries, this is going to make you a lot more agreeable. That Two of Cups is going to see you really focused. Your mind could be focused more on what is harmonious for you, or what it is that you really feel when it comes to connections. So this could be a time where you're maybe reaching out to somebody in order to gain their, you know, their assistance or their help with something, or this could be you offering your help or assistance to somebody. When it comes to your your insights are going to come from others over these next few days. As the moon comes through Taurus, Aries, connecting with other people, this is this is going to be where, you know, there you go, there's that last of the moon in Aries coming through. It's been sirens for bloody days, actually. It's really interesting because I thought that to myself earlier. You know, we're still not done with it. So Aries, for the body, you have the Five of Cups. So actually, I don't feel like this is going to be about a loss. What I actually feel is that your body is now letting you know what it needs. So over these next couple of days, as the moon moves through Taurus, pay attention to any niggles, aches, pains. If you feel tired, take a beat. If you feel like you're you know, if you feel like your energy is maybe at a low ebb, ask yourself, what do I actually need? Or what do I need to take off my plate so that my being can just be better, you know, for itself? Your Five of Cups, when it comes to your fortune, this would be over these next couple of days as the moon comes through Taurus. Pay attention to what really, when it comes to your fortune and your finances and your money, pay attention to what you are paying for or paying into that doesn't have, what's the word, that doesn't have any weight anymore, or is maybe just not doing what it says it's kind of for. Do you know what I mean? Ignore the typo. I never worry about typos. Sometimes it just means that your brain is going too fast for your hands, or vice versa. And then when it comes to your instinct, over these next couple of days, Aries, pay attention to what it is that you really need on that instinctual level, and ask yourself if it aligns with what your values actually are. All right, moon in Taurus, this is going to be about your values. It's about what you really feel connected to, as opposed to what you just kind of think you're connected to. And then on the spirit level, you have the Judgment card, right? So this is a time my dear Aries people, where you really want to bring your focus on a spiritual level. This is a time where you could be bringing your focus into alignment on some of your deeper understandings and on some of your own deeper wisdom, because this is the thing as well. Like, yes, Aries is the start of the zodiac and it has a youthful energy to it, but there's also a lot of depth that can be found there. You know, when it comes to your wisdom, this is a time to look back over the course of your life, maybe into your ancestry. You know, it could be a really good time to do something like that as well, or to connect with an ancestor. And then when it comes to your intuition, over these next couple of days is going to highlight to you what the new path is, where it is that you're ready to go from here. So, you know, this is going to be a new avenue that opens up for you, but it'll be like a deep sort of visceral knowing within yourself. For Taurus, as the moon comes through your sign, in your mind you have the Chariot card, so you could be feeling strong, successful, but you could also find as well that this might make your mind a little bit more active than usual, right? And if that is the case, you know, tap into your own energy and try to slow it down and bring it more into alignment. When it comes to your mood, you might find that you just want everything, and this is unlike Taurus, right? You might find that you want everything to be a little bit more, maybe not so precise. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might find yourself saying, you know what, it doesn't have to be exact. Like, if I'm going to have a square of cake, it doesn't have to be 90 by 90. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might be prepared to just ease off some of the details. As an insight card, this is going to see what you're really ready to finish up. This is going to see you really saying to yourself, okay, I know what I'm ready to complete now. Whatever part of your journey that is, you'll have an insight over the next few days of what that looks like for you. For your body, look at that, you got the King of Swords. So an air sign person could feature for you, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. For those of you that are Taurus ascendants with any sort of air sign placements or heavy energies, this one could be for, yeah, the mind is restless, feels like Aries. It will do up until, you know, the moon sign change. But even as the moon comes through your sign, I still get the sense that, especially with the Chariot card, you know, it could still be kind of doing a little bit more than it usually does. All right, for your fortune, when it comes to, so this is your body, right, Taurus? When it comes to your fortune, this is a time for you to really think about your work, about what you want from your profession or your academic life. For those of you that are studying anything at this moment in time, you could really make a good bit of headway over these next couple of days as the moon. This guy again. Just go away, man. I never understand why people turn up just to troll. Like, get a life. Do you know what I mean? Like, go away. Nobody wants you here. Yeah, for your instinct, the way that this is going to come up for you is that you could be really delving into not only your own mind, but you could really start to understand other people's minds. So this could be a time where you're feeling really connected to other people. And you know, remember what we talked about with being in the body. The more you embody yourself and you stick with your own energy, the more you'll be able to understand and maybe even delve into other people's, because you know what's yours and what's not yours. And then for your spirit card, you have the Strength card. All right, nice. This is great, because what it suggests is that on a spiritual level, there is a sense of renewal coming on here. There's a sense of really tapping into what it is that you actually are interested in. There's a sense of your intuition and your spirit moving towards what's actually going to make you happy, but also moving into a space of really being in that discerning kind of energy, which is great. When it comes to your wisdom, listen to your body. Listen to, yeah, from the last one. And then also when it comes to your intuition, if you want to know something over the next couple of days, This is a time to check in with your heart. Remember, the Strength card is ruled by Leo, and it literally represents the heart or the spine. So this is the time where you really want to focus on what's the word? You want to focus on your heart space, right? Bring your mind, your intuition, your energy, bring it down to that space within you. And I think if you do that, you'll get a lot out of it, really. All right, so for Gemini, you have the Six of Wands, right? Which is great. So when it comes to the mind, you could be feeling quite strong in this place. Now, it's interesting because as the moon comes through Taurus, this is going to be in your 12th house. So, and you know, we're talking about this from the Ascendant. So as the moon comes up sort of almost like behind you, it's going to be really going through that space and pulling stuff out. And, you know, with the Six of Wands, this will give you the strength that you need to really have a look in the mind, to really, you know, your mood could be... you could be feeling a sense of triumph over this sort of moon through Taurus. Maybe not in a overt kind of... It's funny, just as I looked out the window, I can see the moon. That's great. I won't show you because it's probably be an awful picture, but yeah, it's great. And then for, you know, on the mind level, when I say triumph, it could be like a quiet sort of dignified triumph, where you're feeling something on that kind of level. Do you know what I mean? It's not... it's not, you know, it's not like a forceful, you know, triumph. It's not about sort of lording it over others or being holier or better than thou. It's just about being in your space, you know, on a mental level, which, you know, the mind is definitely your region, right? Or it's one of them. For your insight, this would be a time where you need to get into that energy of being comfortable with speaking about yourself in a really great way. For your body, you have the Ace of Swords, right? So when it comes to your physical body and your fortune, this is a time for you to really decide what you want. This is a time for you to go after what it is that you want. And it's also a time for you to be really honest with yourself. So as the moon comes through Taurus over the next few days, Gemini, really get honest with yourself about what you want, about what you truly desire, and ultimately be okay with going after those things. This is a time for you to decide. Okay, what does wealth look like? What does abundance look like for you? What does happiness, what does enjoyment, what does comfort look like for you? On an instinctual level as well. I mean, these cards seem to be all about the mind, and it makes sense because you're a Gemini, right? And then for your spirit, look at that. You've got your own card with the Magician. So on a spiritual level, as the moon comes through the 12th house, because if you're an ascendant Gemini, then this is, you know, the moon moving through Taurus is going to be your 12th house. So as the moon comes through there, this is, consider it like, because then it's going to go into your sign, right, on the 30th, and we're going to have that lunar eclipse. This is a time, Gemini, where you are building up your inner strength. This is where you're pulling your inner magic so that you're ready then to literally pull the wand out, wave it around and say, right, okay, that comes to an end, and the energy that was there, we shape it, we form it, and we put it into what we're ready for now. This could be a very powerful transit for you, Gemini, if you use it in the right way. Your intuition is going to highlight to you which is the right idea for you to move ahead with at this moment in time. And the Magician card coupled with the Ace of Swords, that's some stuff. All right, I'm trying to swear less at this moment in time, but that is some stiff. I like that. All right, Cancer. In your mind, you have the Eight of Pentacles. So we've seen this a lot for Cancer as well. You guys have really been focused on the work, on, you know, on the career. Very, very focused on this. And if you're a Cancer ascendant, you'll have this really bouncing around your mind. Now, if you're a Cancer ascendant and you watch this and you don't work, or you're retired, or you or maybe, you know, you have your own business, you'll still be looking at that. You'll still be looking at the way that you can be of service, or how you can use the skills that you have for the things that for the things that you envision your life to be. It doesn't always have to be like, you know, going to the 9 to 5. Sometimes it can be more than that. It's sometimes and you know, what better way as well, if you're retired or you don't work, you know, or you can't because you've got the kids or whatever. This is about finding a way to utilize the skills that you have so that you can offer something that you want to offer to the world, which I love. As a mood card, this could see you very, very, not forceful. What's the word that I'm looking for? It could see you very focused and very determined. And then on an insight level, this would be these next few days as the moon moves through Taurus. This would be a great time to do something monotonous so that you can let the mind wander. And I love doing this. Like there's loads of things. Like sometimes I'll do the chores, sometimes I'll do the dishes, sometimes, do you know what I mean? Like, not sometimes, I always do my dishes. I'm not a tramp, honestly. So to think about that. Ooh, okay. Yeah. So this could be a time for you to really get into something physical, because then that way it will allow your mind to kind of formulate or percolate over something. On a body level, okay, lovely. So you got the star card, my dear Cancerians. So on a body level, this is a time for you to start simplifying things. This is a time for you to start really streamlining the diet. It's a time for you to really start streamlining what it is that your needs are, what it is that your wants are. And then when it comes to your fortune, this would be a time, if you are ever going to look into having or creating an online business, this would be an amazing time to do it. What I really like about this for you as well, the star card always offers hope. So whatever material experience you've been having up until this point, Cancer, there is hope for your future, and it's about to be revealed to you. Use this transit of the moon to kind of tap into that. On an instinct level, this is really asking you to strip it back to basics. That's one of the reasons the figure on the card is naked, because it's not having, it's literally just because it represents the sign of Aquarius. It's about purity in a way as well. It's not like Virgo purity, very, very different in that regard, but it is about pulling away from what is superfluous or what is just not needed. All right, and then for your spirit, look at that, you have the Hierophant card. Okay, so that's a really interesting card for you to have in the spirit sector. Cancer, over these next few days as the moon moves through the sign of Taurus, coming into your own spiritual authority and sovereignty is going to be very important. This is going to be a time where you need to really align your mind and your spirit, right? This is a time where you need to bring those things in to that connection, right? On a wisdom level, this would be a time to either seek out the old masters or the old traditions, or, if you're going to go to an astrologer, go to an astrologer that practices ancient astrology. If you're if you're going to go to a psychic or a seer of some sort, go to somebody that is seasoned. If you're going to look things up, don't look at any, and I'm not saying don't look at things that are modern, because you've got the star card there, which is all things modern. But if you're looking for something on a spiritual nature, the answers that you're seeking, you will find them in antiquity. All right. And then on an intuitive level, like I said, we'll stick with that message. Coming into your own your own internal spiritual sovereignty is a moment right now. Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, in the mind we have the Three of Wands. I actually think we got this card the other day for the moon in Aries transit. And that obviously means that there is a message there. In a lot of ways, this could see you, focused on somebody that lives overseas. It could also see you tapping into your own ideas of what expansion and growth actually mean. This could see you really asking yourself, okay, it's all well and good me saying I want to grow. What does that look like? And more importantly, what is the purpose? You know, this could be a really good time to look at that. When it comes to your mood, you could be feeling maybe jovial, you know, as the moon moves through the 10th house. You could be also feeling like really focused on the career, right? Because Taurus for you is your 10th house. So it's going to see you very focused on, you know, what are my longer term goals? It's funny that we look at that because I was looking at one of these earlier. And there is one that I'm nearing very, very close to. So I can't, because every time I think about it, I just know that I'm going to end up crying. Because, you know, I'm out of happiness, out of sheer joy. But yeah, I know it will be a very emotional moment. And then for your insight, your insight is going to come from your insight is going to come from people that are very different to you in some way. And the body level, wow, okay, so we've got 2 3s here, Leo. The first thing that we need to see, talk about the 2 3s when they come together in a spread like that. They represent calm. Use this moon transit as the moon comes through the sign of Taurus. Use this time to come through that use this time to tap into the energy of calm. Taurus is calm, it's steady, it's paced, it moves at a pace. So tap into that energy over this time. Now, the 3 of Cups in the body, we want more enjoyment, right? We want more fun. We want more true connection on a physical level as well, whatever that looks like for you, you know, whether that's Mr. or Mrs. Right or Mr. or Mrs. Right now. You know, Taurus is about being in the body. And then for your instinct, for your fortune's going to come 2 things, right? The first one is your finances and your fortune, they grow by thinking and approaching them in a steady Taurian manner. That's one. And then the other part of this is your instinct is asking you to connect with or engage in the world in a way that is going to make you truly happy. Not through a lens, not through a guise, all right? And then for the spirit, we have the Justice card. So in a lot of ways, and look at that, right? Because you've got the Justice card, which is the balance or the scales. And then either side of that, you've got the 3 of Wands and you've got the 3 of Cups. This suggests that the emotions and the actions need to align. As the moon comes through the sign of Taurus over these next few days, Leo, you really need to bring your thoughts and your actions and your emotions, they need to come together. You need to find a way to act from a place of that emotion, or you need to find a way to put your emotion into, or your heart into your actions, all right? All right, for you Ascendant Virgos, in the mind, you have the 10 of Cups, very focused on the home at this moment in time. And in a lot of ways, you might be focused on healing. And not necessarily healing just for yourself, maybe like healing... Some sirens. Maybe some sort of healing for a family member, or maybe a family member needs some kind of assistance. Maybe there is, I mean, there's definitely good vibes around this. Now, when it comes to your mood, you could be finding at this time as well that you feel like there's just a sense of, not even feel, like there's a sense of buoyancy here. There's an excitement, because for me, I'm feeling that at the moment, and I'm like, right, okay, so this is for Virgo. There's a sense of something building, and I kind of feel like your thoughts are all sort of focused on that at the moment, which is lovely. For your insight, this is about really asking yourself what and who feels like home. That is as plain as I can put it. For your body, you have the Death card. All right, so I mean, that in itself is quite self-explanatory. What is it that you really desire? And more importantly, what is it that you need to release? What is it that you know, whether this is something in your diet, whether it is, you know, that favorite chair that you love, but it's, you know, it's making your shoulders all wonky, or do you know what I mean? Like, this is about removing something physical from your space. And maybe for some of you, something physical from your body. You know, maybe this is something that you eat, or something that you know, want. As an example, you know, everyone loves sweets. Like, sweet stuff is my kryptonite. I love sugary treats and all of that sort of stuff. Like, I'm happy to eat dinner, but I always need like a sweet chaser after. I'm a proper sugar fiend. And it's something that I love and I desire and I enjoy, but I know it's not necessarily good for me. And not just from a health perspective as well, it's actually not good. You know, too much sugar is not good for the mind, it's not good for the body, and so therefore everything that the body houses, i.e. including, you know, the internal. So for your instinct here as well, this kind of suggests that your instincts are speaking to you about what your truest needs are, right? You know, on a serious, like on a personal level. This could be even on like an intimate level as well for some of you. Remember, it's the death card is ruled by Scorpio. So for your spirit, you have the Star card. So that's really nice. Look at that, because you got the Star card with the Ten of Cups, right? On a spiritual level, Virgo, this really suggests to me that you are now you're starting to build, right? Now you're starting to build those bigger sort of structures that you're going to be a part of. Now you're starting to make those connections. Now that you're actually starting to look further ahead than just the here and now, which is not necessarily something that Virgo is known for, right? You guys are very much about the detail, here, now, be practical. Does this work for me at this moment in time? Does it work for anybody at this moment in time? Whereas here, this is going to see you on a spiritual level starting to understand, right, there's something in me that needs to evolve now. On a wisdom level, you're going to find that your people out there, your community, your soul tribe, yeah, your community or your soul tribe, these are the people that are going to give you the wisdom that you're looking for. That's where you're going to find it. And then finally, for your intuition could not play tricks on you, but it could be, you know, you could really feel this in the body over these next couple of days. So just find a way to measure or to manage that if you can. Libra. In the mind, you have the Three of Pentacles. All right, so over the next few days, as the moon comes through Taurus, this is going to see you really focused on what you are trying to learn or what you're trying to build. Not even build, what you're trying to learn, I think, in a lot of ways. And I think over these next few days as well, you may notice where in conversation you are either unflexible or unyielding. And, you know, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what, Libra, really? Yes, you know, this might be highlighted to you where someone has or is saying something to you, but because of your own history or ideas about something, you could just be like, no, I don't want to hear that. And, you know, you could be feeling in a mood in the, you know, these next few days, you could be feeling in the mood to really gather or gain information that you're storing for later on. And then for your insight, it's going to come through learning. Cracker, you know, take time over this time to, you know, to really delve into that. You know, whether this is through books, whether it's watching videos, like there's something out there that you're searching for and you're not going to find it in your immediate vicinity or in the information that you already have. There's something new for you to take on board right now. In your body, you have the Temperance card. So, Libra, this could be a time where you really want to be focused on your own healing journey, right? Your Temperance card isn't just about your alignment, it's also about your, you know, literally the journey that we go through of healing something or mending a rift. And, you know, I mean, it's coupled with the Three of Pentacles there. This could be where you discover, you know, if you've got an illness or an ailment of some sort, this could be where you discover something that really speaks to you about what your body actually needs, about what your physical self needs. When it comes to your fortune and your finances, thank you so much, Tony. When it comes to your fortune and finances, this is going to see you really starting to balance the books. You know, forgive the pun there. It wasn't intended because obviously you're, you know, Libra, the scales. Like, but look at that. That's the Temperance card. You know, that she's also a point of balance. You know, that's the angel there is using the cups to perform a feat of alchemy. And what that actually looks like for you guys on the ground as the moon comes through Taurus is you really starting to understand what it is that you need and what the differing elements might be at the moment. On an instinctual level, this would be a time where you probably really start to understand how healing works for you, what kind of healing actually speaks to you, or supports you in some way. And then for the spirit, you have the Fool card. All right, so some big inspiration or idea is going to come in for you over these next few days. Pay attention to this. It could also be as well that you're either getting a download or you could be having a big realization, especially as Uranus comes over to, as the moon comes over Uranus. You might have some flash of insight or something that you just, comes in and you just absolutely know it in your body. You might also find as well your wisdom, your ability to speak on things that maybe things that you didn't even, that you haven't studied that much, but you have an innate understanding of. You might come into that realization that, maybe you watch something or you read something and you think, wow, I actually really understand how that works. This could have something to do with what your next steps are or where you're supposed to be going. And then very similar energy, because the Fool card and the Tower card are two halves of a whole, really. And there's so much more that I could say, on top of that. But if you want to find out more, enroll on my tarot course. Link is in the description box. But I will pop it on the screen as well. Shameless plug there of my work. I'm sorry, but yeah. And then for Scorpio, in the mind you have the Two of Swords. So as the moon comes into an opposition to your sign, because it's in the opposite, it's literally in the opposite side of the zodiac, you could be having a really powerful insight into partnerships, relationships, connections, collaborations that you have. For some of you, you could be deciding to bring one to an end or a close. For some of you, you could be deciding to move ahead with one. Your intuition is going to be very strong over these next few days, and it could be telling you what other people want, what other people need. It might also highlight to you where you either can or can't deliver what is being asked of you. On a mood level as well, this is a time for peace. This is, whatever that means to you, whatever that shows up for you as in your life, this is a time where you could need that more than anything else. And then on an insight level, it's all coming through the intuition. Over these next couple of days, as the moon moves through Taurus, Scorpio, it's all about your intuition. Pay attention to it, because it's going to be really powerful at this time. All right, in the body, you have the Nine of Cups. Look at that. And that's really interesting. So on a physical level, again, more healing energy here for you, Scorpios, as well. I mean, it came up quite strong for Libra, but not as strong as for Scorpio. Now, the fact that you have the Nine of Cups there in the body, this is about some sort of wish being fulfilled. If there is a goal that you saw in your mind, if there was a number that you wanted to hit, like it could look like anything, but specifically to do with your material experience, and your fortune, something that you have wanted, worked for, waited for, could really materialize for you over these next couple of days. And it has a lot to do with either partnerships, connections, or collaborations, which is wonderful. On an instinctual level, this is going to be really speaking to your altruistic nature. Right, this is going to be really you maybe trying to delve into a connection that you have and asking yourself, what isn't working about this? Or, how has this helped me further my goals or my ends in some respect? Temperance is the cure for my anger. That's a really good way of looking at it, actually. I like that. I like that a lot. And then for Scorpio spirit, you have the Hanged Man. All right, so I mean, there's a lot of water in those cards. Even though the Two of Swords is an air card, it's still got it. I mean, if you look at the background, it's quite watery. There's a lot of water floating around here for you, and it's good that there's a Taurus moon, because it's giving you a bit of a ground in there. Now, you're Hanged Man is a spirit card, right? This is going to ask you to really delve into that spiritual energy, and it could be very powerful around you at this moment in time. And if that is the case, Scorpio, this would be a time for you to really listen deeply and intently, not only to yourself, but to what your intuition is telling you. It's also asking you as well where maybe you have given too much, where maybe you have what's the word, where maybe you've given too much, or where maybe it is that you where maybe you're trying to pour from an empty cup. And in its dysfunctional sense, the Hanged Man can be martyrdom. That doesn't solve a problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, so this is a time where you really want to look at what your motivations are on a spiritual level as well, and listen to what comes through from that. When it comes to the intuition as well, this would be a couple of days where you want to keep your channel clear. And what I mean by that is, I'm not I know I'm an Aquarius, and I know I joke about this all the time, but I'm not actually a massive drinker. But I know that when I have a full day of readings ahead of me, or a whole week of them, I will not imbibe, like I won't drink before like the night before, or sometimes, definitely not the night before, because it's important to keep that channel clear. So Scorpio, over the next couple of days, whatever your vices may be, this is not a time for escapism. It's a time to keep your channel clear, so that whatever comes through for you is, what's the word, is pure. Right, that part is really important, and it will be important for you guys because your intuition is trying to get a message to you. And then for Sagittarius, wow, you have the High Priestess in the mind, right? So this is powerful stuff again. Intuitive ability, a psychic awareness. Sagittarius, these next few days as the moon comes through Taurus, if you're feeling those sort of psychic impressions, isn't it interesting? Because Taurus would be your 8th house, and you've got the High Priestess, so this would be that sort of psychic awareness, that deep intuitive knowing or understanding. Sagittarius as well in the mind, if you can see that a woman, or an important woman in your life, a wife, a sister, a mother, an aunt, a grandmother, if you can see that there's a woman in your life that needs your assistance, this would be a time not to impose. We never violate the goddesses in our life, but this would be a time where maybe you have to put your foot down and say, look, you need assistance with this. I'm here to help you. Let me do so. On a mood level, this could see you very changeable over these next couple of days. Even though the moon's moving through Taurus, it's exalted, and it's, it's a lot of a steadying influence. The High Priestess, it's not tangible. So the mind could be very, very changeable over these next couple of days, especially as that conjunction to Uranus comes up. So be aware of that. And then for the insight, again, through your intuition. In the body, you have the Page of Cups. This is nice. Saggies are definitely in that sort of lovey, sort of zhuzhy kind of energy. This could be a time where, as well, Sagittarius, you might feel naturally drawn to parenting everybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, this might see you kind of just naturally drawn to doing that kind of thing for somebody, where you're not taking charge, but maybe kind of, putting yourself in the forefront or in the lead and saying, right, okay, you're going to get some bloody good looking after, whether you like it or not. When it comes to your fortune, I think this is going to highlight to you where some of your maybe emotional spending has come from recently, if you've had any. You love you right back. And then for your instinct as well, this would be a really powerful time to do some personal inner child work, not just for others, but also for yourself. And then on the spirit level, you have, oh wow, you've got your own card there, because this card actually represents Jupiter. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune. Nice, right? So pay attention to where your mind and your energy are over the next few days, Taurus, because as the moon moves through Taurus, Sagittarius, because you will very likely be either manifesting as you speak, or I'm a mum of 2 children, mum and dad. Right? Pay attention to the way that the way that you speak, and also the way that you think. And I know it's not easy to always do that. I'm not talking about policing your thoughts. What I'm talking about is staying focused on the things that you actually do want to create. Because remember, the Wheel of Fortune, this is where, the energy or the momentum around us starts to build. And so you could be manifesting really powerfully over the next couple of days. Just make sure it's something that you truly want. And then finally, when it comes to your instinct, your intuition even, if you feel so inclined over the next few days, if you can get out and about and you feel like, you know what, I really want to go to that place that I went to 5 years ago and just walk around, if you feel to do something like that, then go for it. If you feel like looking into a journey that you're going to take or want to take, this would be a great time to do so. The reason this is coming up for you, or the reason you feel drawn to a specific place, is because there's something there for you. All right, so Capricorn, in the mind, you have the Six of Swords. You are very, very focused at this moment in time. Ooh. You're very focused at this moment in time on where it is that you go from here, right? This is going to see the mind really projecting towards better and easier days. And I think, to be honest with you, Capricorns have definitely earned it, right? We know this last couple of years, in fact, since 2008, because obviously Pluto moved into your sign. We know you guys have been through it. It's not been an easy year for anybody, but I think the Capricorns have really, I think you guys have really borne the brunt of everything. So that Six of Swords is basically, a reminder that better and easier times are coming. And more importantly, what it does tell me to tell you is whatever you are considering in terms of your future, the answer is yes, but it's not going to shape up anytime soon. It's going to be over the course of the next 6 months. The universe is telling you that something is unpacking or unfolding here. All right, so keep your mind focused forward. On an insight level, this is very likely to come through really sitting with not only sitting with your thoughts, but really sitting with the flow of them. This would be a good time for you to find a way to slow your thoughts down, not to stop them, but just to slow them down, so that almost like like those conveyor belts in the supermarket, so that you can actually see what you're looking at. That's something that you'd benefit a lot from over these next couple of days. In the body, you have the Six of Cups. So look at that, we've got 2 sixes. 2 sixes in a single tarot spread can sometimes represent irritability, and so the message that's coming up here, defo obsessed about what the next move is. And I know you're a Capricorn ascendant, so is that my niece? Oh, it is one of my nieces is here, guys. Little K, K's life there. Oh. That feels so surreal to me. Like, it's crazy. I can have all these other people watching me, but my niece, I'm like, oh, okay. Lovely to have you, sweetheart. I love you. Being the embarrassing uncle there. So yeah, Capricorn, you've got the Six of Cups. And so these 2 sixes can sometimes represent irritability. On a physical body level, though, this is about returning to better times, but it's also going to see you really focused on what works. So this could be you going back to an old regime, or deciding, you know what, when I used to do this, I felt really good. When I used to do that, I was at my healthiest. When I was, do you know what I mean? Like, this could see you really paying attention to, or bringing things from your own past back in that really worked for you. Maybe there was a special you used on your face and the results were amazing. Or maybe there was something that you eliminated from a diet or incorporated from a diet. This is about you bringing that back in. On an fortune level, this kind of suggests to me that when it comes to the finances, these next couple of days are going to highlight to you where or how you can improve that area of life for yourself. And I'll give you a hint. It's got something to do with an idea that you had a long time ago. And then when it comes to your instinct, your physical body or outlook, that Six of Cups, again, is really about taking it back to an easier or a simpler time, if that makes sense. So on a spirit level, you have the... That's the second time that's happened. You've got the Devil card, which is you, right? So this is about you being completely in your own energy, but completely aware of what path or what journey you've traveled, and leave it to a Capricorn to know, right? To know. What I like about this on a spiritual level as well is it suggests that not only do you show up as yourself, it really feels for me as well like you might be ready to say to yourself, this is where I'm too rigid, this is where I hold on too much, and actually, you know what, I can let that go now, or I can see how it's hurting me or holding me back, because my values, Taurus, moon moving through Taurus, my values have now shifted. So for all of us, us as a collective, I think we're going to be seeing that this is going to be a marker of where our values are actually at. And for you, Capricorn, I think this is going to be a big moment of highlighting that. On an intuition level, this next couple of days could make you astutely aware. Like when women are pregnant, like even before the milk's gone off, they'll be like, no, can't have that. Or do you know what I mean? Like they won't, certain tastes or smells they just won't go near. It's because there's that innate knowing. Well, your intuition could be highlighting to you something over the next couple of days as the moon moves through Taurus. You know what? That's not good for me. They're not good for me. This I don't want in my space. Like you could be really, really intuitively very clear about those things at the moment, which is actually a really powerful thing. Aquarius, in your mind, you have the Seven of Wands, right? So Aquarius having a mental battle? Of course not. For those of you that are Ascendant Aquarians, this is going to highlight to you where maybe you are getting in your own way, where maybe your stubbornness or your inability to back down. And because sometimes it works the other way. Like usually when you see the Seven of Wands, it's like stand your ground, you got to do the right thing. But this next couple of days as the moon moves through Taurus, for you Aquarius, it might highlight where you're fighting a battle that is redundant, where maybe, do you know what I mean, like where maybe something that you thought was worth the fight, actually you realize, like, actually, you know what, it's not worth the fight anymore. I don't even know why I was, do you know what I mean, entertaining that or putting my time or my energy into it. And then for your insight level, that's going to be the insight itself, where a battle that you have fought or that you were prepared to fight is now redundant. Yeah. For the body, we have the King of Wands, right? So Aquarius, this is another sign as well that not necessarily known for wanting to be on, on the stage or whatever, but Aquarius, we're coming up to that big conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn that are going to take place at 0 degrees of your sign. You are coming into the fore. This is a new era of you. And in some way, shape or form, you're being called onto the wider world stage to lead, to participate, to demonstrate, to show people what they should, not what they should be doing, but to show people how to do more of what they want to do or feels aligned with them. Sounds like a lot of responsibility, right? And the King of Wands is definitely all about putting himself forward. This is about having confidence in your ability. And this might show you where either, one of the battles that you're having on that mind level is, I don't know if I've got the smarts for it, or I'm not sure if do you know what I mean? Like you could really be starting to understand, okay, this is what I'm being called to do. And you know what, I might not have all of the answers. I may not have, everything figured out. But if I'm called upon to be of service to the wider world, you can bet I'm going to show up. Right, that's what you're being asked. On a fortune level, this kind of suggests as well, one thing that I know Aquarius likes, they like to be able to make money, but without getting into the energy of money. It's kind of like, You know, I want to be successful. I'd like to be prosperous, but money. You know, that's the Aquarian mindset. That's really started to shift and change now. And I think it's because you've come into the realization, and you will come into the realization over these next few days as the moon comes through Taurus, that actually I can be all of those things, and I can be more of what I want to be and do more of what I want to do if I have considerable resources to do so. Powerful stuff. On an instinctual level as well, you will know where you're supposed to insert yourself, where you're supposed to be. So pay attention, because this next couple of days as the moon moves through Taurus could really highlight to you you know, what you're ready to do, what you're ready to present. And then for the spirit, destroying the zodiac wheel here, we have the moon card, right? So moon, la luna. This is going to be a reflective couple of days for you as well. And I think in a lot of ways, Aquarius, I think this is going to really highlight to you what your past has actually given you, what your past has actually taught you. And I think this is going to be where you make sense of all of it's like, you know, when the universe gives you a really hard life and says, right, well, this is yours. And, you know, at the time of experiencing it, you're just like, oh my God, this is crap. I can't believe this is the hand that I got dealt. Why? What did I do? But on this side of it, and especially over the next couple of days, you could be looking at that and saying, right, okay, let's unpack this for all of the gifts and all of the magic that it gave me. Doesn't make it easy. It doesn't mean that you know, it doesn't make it easy, but it does mean that there will be, like Priceless says, there will be some clarity that comes up. Now remember, the moon card can also be changeable, and it can also sometimes see us being a bit sort of stay grounded, right? The moon coming through the sign of Taurus offers a little bit of grounding, so tap into that energy, and also allow yourself to let your intuition and your instinct, right, your gut instinct, allow them to speak. My depression acting up again right before I move from CA to VT. Well, I truly hope that your move goes well. I have no doubt that it will. It sounds like you're already ahead of the curve, because you're following that, you know, that innate drive or that push. If you've seen them in the weeklies and the monthlies, I've talked a lot about this. There are 4 signs specifically that look like they're gearing up for a move. Aquarius, Capricorn, Pisces and Leo. I don't know why, but those signs seem to be really being almost like shoved out of you know, whether you like it or not, you're being shoved out of where you are into wherever you're going to be next. Okay, so for Pisces, wow, in the mind you have the World card. Power, power, power. What is it? Who has it? How do I gain it? These are going to be all the things that are highlighted to you over this next sort of few days as the moon comes through Taurus. And for you, Pisces, I kind of really like that actually, because it's going to start to see you solidify in what you believe to be your best idea. This is going to see you maybe working behind the scenes on something very, very hard. It may also see whatever it is that you're working on. It might see you start to understand, you know what? Don't count me out. Just because I'm a Pisces and, you know, I tend to meander and take my time with stuff, don't count me out by any stretch, because there's a lot to be learned from Pisceans. You know, there really is actually. What it tells me as well is on a mood level, this could see you feeling a lot more, and I don't say this in a patronizing way, but it could see you feeling sort of like a lot more grown up and a lot more responsible. You might be feeling not even pensive. You might be feeling a bit more, I almost want to say authoritative over these next couple of days. So it'll be interesting to see how it shows up. And then finally, your insight over these next few. What really shows up here for you is this ability to recognize where you've already put the work in and where you've already mastered something. For your body, you have the Ace of Wands, right? So what does your earthly experience look like when it is the best that it could possibly be? That's the question that this moon moving through Taurus is asking you, my dear Pisces people. Your Ace of Wands there as well when it comes to your fortune. whatever you are creating at the moment, whether it's a book, whether it's a blog, whether it is an idea that's in the work, that never take the Pisces for granted. I never do. I never have. Like I said, my best friend in high school was a Pisces, and I learned so much from her. It's unreal, like just so much. And Pisces isn't always it's not always what people think it is. Like when they talk about Pisces, it's like, all of that. It's not all of that. There's a lot more depth and wisdom to Pisces than I think people give them credit for. Yeah, you'll have to go back because I'm literally just wrapping up Pisces now. And then for Pisces in the spirit, ooh. Look at that, you've got the Emperor. So what comes up here is on a spiritual level. This is really about you stepping into your power. It's about you really coming into your understanding of what power is, what it actually means, who has it and who gets to use it. I think in a way as well, there's something over these next couple of days where you're going to start to understand that before you've been Pisces, right? You've been self-sacrificing and all of that stuff. But this is going to see you much like Aquarius with the finances, where they're now getting a handle on, if I have money and I have an abundance of it, I can do more of the things that I like to do, which is be the humanitarian. And I think with Pisces, this is going to see you coming into that understanding of, if I have more power, if I'm in a position of power, that allows me to make decisions based on what Pisces loves: fairness, equality, love, abundance for all people, right? It's kind of like Aquarius, but Aquarius on steroids, because it's jacked into the spiritual side as well. Each sign is a successive sort of build on the lesson that came before. So really powerful stuff. I mean, it's been a great session, guys. Thank you for making it an amazing session. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of you guys that have sat in the chat and in the comments. It's really nice to read you guys and to know that I'm not just speaking to a blank screen on my own, which always really helps. But thank you for all of your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, subscribes, all of that. It really does mean a lot. I hope you're loving these. You can join me again in a couple of days where we're going to be talking about the moon coming through Gemini. And obviously that one's going to be the eclipse. So we'll be talking about that and all of what it means. And we'll be going back into the tarot as well. And also, last time, I promise, if you haven't, please check out my Kickstarter. The link is in the description box below. You can't book readings with me anymore. If you want to get a reading with me, you have to go through the Kickstarter. That's why I've put it on. You can get crazy discounts on some of my readings. You can also get on my course, and you can also get my full moon, new moon calendars, and also my tarot calendars as well. So with that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Take care, be awesome. Check back, let me know in the comments how this goes for you, this moon through Taurus energy, and how it speaks to you. I love you lots, and I will see you soon.